OpenAI just gave ChatGPT and Codex a memory of what you do across your Mac. It can remember which apps you opened, what you typed, what you clicked, where you left off, and which workflows you repeat. That sounds like screen recording. It is not. OpenAI says computer history records interaction events instead, then turns them into summaries and local memory files that future chats and Codex tasks can use. You can ask what you were working on before lunch and continue without rebuilding the context. The privacy trade-off takes a little more work to understand because some data stays local, some data is processed by OpenAI, and the memories that remain on your computer are plain text. So let us look at what this system records, what it never captures, and the settings I would change before turning it on. Computer history is rolling out in the ChatGPT desktop app on macOS for pro, business, and enterprise users. It is off by default. Business and enterprise administrators must allow the feature first, and then each person still has to opt in. OpenAI describes it as a rebuilt version of an earlier research preview called Chronicle. Chronicle used screenshots. Computer history does not. It creates an interaction event stream from the apps and websites you allow. The official list includes clicks, typing, keyboard shortcuts, app switches, and context that macOS exposes through its accessibility system. Every so often, ChatGPT turns those events into a text summary in a local memory file. That difference matters because the system is not saving a movie of your screen. It is building a structured record of what you did. Okay, so what does that buy you? The first use is continuity. You can come back after a break and ask what you were working on, where a document lives, or which tasks you touched during the day. The history helps ChatGPT identify the source. Then ChatGPT or Codex can open the actual file, conversation, or document when the task needs it. The second use is reporting. OpenAI shows prompts for preparing a stand-up summary or listing the status of your recent work. The third use is automation. When the system notices that you repeat the same workflow, it can suggest a reusable skill or automation. You still review that suggestion before Codex creates anything. That is where this becomes more than memory. Your work history can become instructions for doing the work again. The architecture is pretty simple when you separate the stages. Stage 1 happens on the Mac. Allowed apps and websites produce interaction events. Stage 2 turns a short run of those events into a summary, something like reviewed project feedback or prepared a launch update. Stage 3 saves the generated memory as a Markdown file. Stage 4 happens later when ChatGPT or Codex retrieves the relevant memory as context for a new request. The raw event stream is temporary. The summary is the durable part. This also explains why the feature can work without screen recording permission. OpenAI says computer history does not capture screenshots, screen recordings, microphone input, or system audio. Private mode browsing is excluded too. It is still collecting sensitive context, but the mechanism is an event log and a memory pipeline, not a continuous video recorder. Now, the permission controls are the part I would use before anything else. You can include only specific apps and websites or allow most sources and block the ones you do not want. You can pause collection from the Mac menu bar, resume it later, delete one timeline item, clear a recent window, or clear everything. Changing the app list only affects future history, so removing an app does not erase summaries that already exist. OpenAI also warns people to turn the feature off during communication with other people unless everyone has given consent. I would start with an allow list instead of giving it the whole computer. Add the work apps where continuity helps. Leave messages, banking, health information, password managers, and private client material out until you have inspected the timeline and know exactly what the summaries contain. The storage model has two different layers. Temporary interaction event files stay on the Mac for up to 48 hours. OpenAI says those event files live inside the ChatGPT app group, which limits access from other apps. And ChatGPT and Codex delete them after 48 hours. The generated memories last until you delete them. Those memories are plain text Markdown files under the Codex memory directory, and OpenAI OpenAI says computer history does not encrypt them. Another program running as your Mac user may be able to read them. That means a cleared event stream does not automatically mean every summary is gone. If you want something removed, delete the related history item or clear the history so the events and the memories created from them are removed together. Some processing also leaves the Mac temporarily. According to OpenAI, computer history periodically starts an ephemeral Codex session with access to the event stream. OpenAI processes those temporary event files on its servers to generate the memories, then stores the memories back on the Mac. The company says it does not retain the temporary event files after processing unless the law requires it, and it does not use those files for training. Later, when a memory helps with a chat, the relevant memory and interaction events can enter that chat as context. Whether chat content can improve OpenAI models then depends on your ChatGPT data controls. So the clean mental model is local collection, temporary server-side summarization, local memory storage, and selective retrieval into future chats. There is one more risk that deserves its own section. OpenAI says computer history increases prompt injection exposure. A malicious instruction inside a website or app could become part of the activity that ChatGPT or Codex processes, and the model might follow that instruction later. This is the same general problem agents face whenever outside content can influence their instructions, but computer history widens the amount of content available to the agent. My setup would be narrow on day one. Turn it on for a small set of work apps. Keep communication and sensitive accounts excluded. Pause it during meetings. Review the timeline after a few hours. Open one of the Markdown memories in Finder and read it. Then decide whether the saved context is useful enough to justify adding more sources. Computer history can remove a real problem, explaining your work to the computer over and over again. The system also creates a new permission boundary around your daily activity. Decide which parts of your work should become machine-readable context. Then check whether the controls let you inspect and delete that context clearly. Start narrow, review what it writes, and expand only when the saved context earns the access.